Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. Today, I'm going to talk about wolves and sheep. Now, as you know, sheep are not at the top of the totem pole, so to speak. Wolves are. Wolves eat sheep. Sheep eat grass. There's a pecking order. Well, same thing here in prison. There's a pecking order. This is the thing. All right, there's one person who is above everybody in the prison, and that's the warden. The warden is top dog, period, end of discussion. Don't give a damn who you are, how much of a killer you are, how much money you have. You can be freaking 30 foot tall and 150,000 pounds. Whatever, man. Warden trumps inmate. Warden trumps gangbanger. Warden trumps murderer. Warden trumps martial artist. Warden trumps everyone in prison. Staff members are always at the top of the pecking order in prison. That's just the way it is. They're the ones that has the authority. They're the ones that has the riot gear. They're the ones that have canine dogs. They're the ones that have the weapons. They're at the top of the pecking order. However, within the pods, within the prison, it also depends on what prison you're at. You know, if you're at medium security or low security prison, you always have one inmate that is at the top, you know, of the inmate pecking order. However, here at Red Onion State Prison and in every Supermax prison, it's per pod because they keep the pods separated. One pod will never have anything to do with two pod. Two pod won't have nothing to do with three pods, so on and so forth. Each building is kept separate from every other building. And they do that specifically for that reason, to keep a riot from breaking out. Because you have guys on these medium security prisons that kind of run the prison where basically he's yard boss or he's wolf. He can start a riot pretty damn easily. You know, he can get dudes to go off because he has that authority. Guys look up to him because he's the guy that is the most feared on that compound. So because of that, and because Supermax prisons usually hold your more dangerous, more violent offenders, they got smart and they keep us all separated. So every pod has a wolf, and the rest of the pod is sheep per se. Currently, the pod that I'm in right now, I would technically have to put myself as the wolf. Now, I don't run the pod, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do, simply because I don't want to, and I don't care enough about it. I leave the cell, I do me, I come back in the cell, and I continue to do me. But when I go across the yard, I'm going to have to deal with that, and I'm going to have to put myself in a position to find my spot because I am an alpha male. That's just all there is to it. That's the way I see myself, and that's the way I make sure everybody else sees me. I'm not a sheep. I'm a wolf. As a matter of fact, my name, Randall, is German for shield wolf. I was a wolf. I was named wolf before I even knew I was a wolf. I've been in pod. Matter of fact, when I was at Buckingham, you had this one guy. I'll give credit where credit was due. All right, he wasn't fake. He wasn't a pretender. he was about his business. He would put that work in. He wasn't scared. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but this is so long ago. Because this guy, he was around 6'4", around 250 pounds. He was a big dude. Now, this is kind of funny. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. I got my story back. Forgive me. This actually happened here at Red Onion. I'm sorry. I got my wires crossed. This happened here at Red Onion. This guy, this black guy, he was a blood, and he was, I don't think he was a general or anything. I think he had some rank, though. And like I said, he was the biggest guy in the pod. And his chest was so huge that it actually curved over like a fat man's belly. Like this dude, his chest was so big, he could literally hide knives and contraband in the cavity between his chest and his rib cage and, his top of his stomach and everything. I mean, this dude was massive, man. He wasn't fat. He had a six-pack. Dude was built. He thought he was alpha. And for a long time, he was. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys followed his lead. They did what he told them to do. Whenever he wanted to get the phone or in the shower, he had his own phone. He had his own shower that he used. And for the most part, everybody went along with that. You know what I'm saying? And this little Spanish dude, he was actually a member of MS-13. He was maybe 5'7", 135 pounds. One day, the black guy, I can't remember his name, but he went and he started messing with the little dude. The little dude just looked up at him and said, "Look, man, I'm not the one." Dude said, "Oh, what you gonna do, little man? What you gonna do, little man?" And dude said, "Okay, I'm gonna put you in your place." And he reached out and he grabbed him by his pants and he bunched the sides of his pants in his fist. And he lifted him straight up in the air. And dude was shocked. Everybody in the pod was like, "Oh." And he just kind of turned and he set him down out of his way. And he said, "Man, am I going to have problems with you now?" Dude said, "Nah, man, you good, bro." He said, "All right." And the little guy just walked on. And like I said, this dude was a tiny little fella. And he just simply picked him up and set him out of his way. And he sent a message to the whole damn pod. Yeah, y'all thought he was pod boss. He's really not, because I have no desire to run this pod. No, this wasn't me. This was, the little Mexican guy from Puerto Rico, whatever he was. I'm sorry. But he was a cool dude, though, man. I think his name was, we called him Tony Montana, because he really liked that movie with Al Pacino in it. So, but you have things that happen like that. Just because you got that one guy in the pod that runs things, sometimes he's only running things because other guys allow him to do it because they simply don't care enough to get involved. But there's always a pecking order in prison. And when you first come in, you start at the bottom. It's as simple as that. You start at the absolute bottom and you have to build a reputation. You have to work your way up. Now, and it's not to say you come in, find the biggest guy in the pod, and then you walk up and punch him in the face. Yeah, don't pay attention to movies. They will get your ass hurt. You don't do stuff like that in prison. But you have to know your place, because if you don't know your place, you step on somebody's toes. And when you step on somebody's toes, you got some guys that'll pull you to the side and they'll talk to you and they'll explain to you, "Hey, look, man, what you did was wrong. You violated. Don't do that again. Know your place. Know your role." And then you have some guys, they'll just start swinging, or, they'll go back in the cell and make a knife and come out the next morning at breakfast and try to kill you. Because you did not know your place. So when you first go into a pod, best thing you can do is sit back and watch and listen. Don't do a whole lot of talking. Analyze who is who. Sit back and watch, okay, who is the person? Who's the one person in the pod where it seems like most of the guys in the pod are walking up to him and talking to him? They're bringing him packages. They're giving him food, or they're doing this for him, or they're doing that for him. Those are the guys in the pod that usually run the pod. And this is the thing. Most guys in prison are followers. They want to be around that tough guy. They want to be around that head guy, that guy that kind of runs things, because it helps keep them a little bit safer. It helps them feel like they're a part of something. Like, his toughness is kind of their toughness. Like, they're living vicariously through this guy. And then you have some guys that are completely terrified and scared. And those are the guys that they rarely ever come out the cell. The only time they leave the cell is to go to the chow hall to get food, go to medical, go take a shower, maybe use the phone every now and then. Other than that, they hide in the cell. Those are your basic sheep. They don't even have the heart of sheep. Like, sheep are above them. And then you have guys like me. I couldn't do it if I wanted to. I have no desire for it. And we sit back and we just do ourselves. We don't tolerate no BS, but we don't start it neither. We give respect and we get respect. And if you cross that line, we tend to say, yo, look, man, lace them up and let's step in the cell. And that's it. That's the pecking order in prison. You always have one guy, whether he's earned it legitimately or because somebody in the pod just doesn't care enough about it and they let him have it. But there's always one guy at the top. And then everybody else filters in under him, sort of like a pyramid shape. And then you got a few guys off to the side that walk alone and stand alone because they're built like that, because they can walk alone. They can stand alone. They don't need a gang. They don't need homeboys walking with them watching their back. They know who they are, what they are, and what they're capable of. And they're more than willing to prove it if you force your hand.
You have 1 minute remaining.
That's the pecking order in prison. This has been Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. For those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcasts, I'd appreciate it if you would review me and rate me, preferably 5 stars, but I'll take whatever you can give me. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.